The thing with LinkedIn is it's your profile that attracts people or makes people want to talk to you, right? So via email, you don't really have much to go off of. It's your subject line, it's the message. They can see your profile picture, they can see your name. That's pretty much it. With cold calling, they can't see you, but they can hear you. So your tonality, your opener, that stuff matters. And so with LinkedIn, the thing that matters is your profile, which can be very, very powerful because it's way more information dense than the first two things I mentioned. And the problem is the vast majority of reps do not take advantage of this. They have pretty crappy profiles, which read like resumes. And what you need to understand is that if you are a seller and your job is to get in front of buyers, you need to make sure your profile reads like a sales or marketing asset that your buyer would want to consume. So you want to treat it like a landing page. If a buyer were to look you up and land on your LinkedIn profile, they need to want to scroll down and be like, hey, this person is really interesting. They seem to know what they're talking about. They understand my problems. I want to talk with them. That is the end goal of your profile. So I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step checklist on how to make sure your profile meets that criteria so buyers will want to pay attention. So let's look through a couple of examples. I have a couple of examples of people I've helped before, as well as people who I know just do a good job. So Casey is somebody I've helped before. I've helped him essentially craft his LinkedIn profile. And so we're going to go from top to bottom. There are a couple of sections that you can read along. The first thing we want to talk about is your headline and title. So that is just the stuff that is underneath your name. And so the vast majority of people will have something which says account executive or BDR or SDR. And that is just a massive red flag because nobody wants to be sold to and nobody wants to connect with or talk to a seller because they know you're going to try to pitch them. And so you are actively like hurting yourself by putting that in there, and you want to change that. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to just randomly open up LinkedIn and search for the first account executive I can find. And I hate to pick on somebody, but we're going to just open up a random person. And I think this is pretty representative of most people's profiles. So you can see that she has an account executive over here. So if she tried to connect with me, I'd be like, no, I don't want to talk to you. There's no value here. Whereas if Casey tried to connect with me, pretty interesting statement over here. I see IRS has your runway, take it back. Immediately I'm pausing. I'm like, that's really interesting. As a founder, I care about my runways, so that's really interesting. He knows his buyer. Let's look at a couple of other people who have really good titles. Alex over here, he's also technically an AE, but it says GTM engineer. He's at Clay. They help companies really figure out how to engineer the go-to-market motion. GTM engineer makes sense. He's a little plug in terms of value, and he provides guides on AI and GTM. Smart. Mark Jung over here, he just said, like, hey, I'm going to make you top 1% LinkedIn authority. He has a bunch of stuff in here, a lot of value statements. Laura, she's head of sales. She doesn't put that in here. She talks about what they sell, which is B2B attribution activation. This is really funny. Sales leader with a crush on marketing. They're just like interesting people. You see that, right? So the people who are really good at this understand what it means to get attention. Oliver, he is a BDR, like climbing fast. And I see him all over LinkedIn, and you can see it has his title over here. Then he has something a little bit more interesting here. I think this could be a little bit more interesting, but good enough. And so all of these are just so different from this. So that's your headline and title. The format I would essentially use is follow something like either Alex or Casey, where you put in a statement, like what do you help with? And then instead of calling yourself an AE, think about what is the equivalent of like GTM engineer, you could say. So if you help like CFOs, you want to say, not financial advisor, but like maybe dashboard, a financial dashboard wrangler or something like that, dashboard consultant or something along those lines, which gets you into the right place. If you sell to maybe CIOs, you can be like a procurement advisor. If you work at a company like Vendor or Tropic, hopefully you see where I'm coming from. And then have a catchy statement in here. Like I love what Casey has over here. So that is everything around your headline and title. Fix it. Just make sure it doesn't say AE, SEO, or BDR. Number two, Cover photo and profile picture. So just make sure you have a decent profile picture, no sunglasses, no AI images. People want to see your face. They want to build trust with you. And so everybody over here has like pretty decent standard picture, including Brie over here, which is good. And then cover photo. So a lot of people waste this real estate. And so you want to think about this cover photo needs to make me think, hey, I need to follow this person. And so Casey's done a phenomenal job over here. He says, hey, the IRS owes most companies 8% of their development budget in tax credits. Most 2/3 don't claim and take your money back. This is really eye-catchy and makes me want to pause and be like, I want to talk to this guy. I want 2/3. I'm probably in the 2/3 of people who don't get back 8% of my R&D budget back in tax credits. I need to talk to this guy. And so this is a really, really good cover photo, which makes me stop. Alex's points it to his like newsletter, which he uses as an acquisition channel, website. Very quick overview of their product at Dream Data. Another decent way to go about it. This is a little bit crowded, but decent. It shows you what they do. This just says just works. It's better than nothing, but like could definitely be better. And so I'm sorry, Bree. But this is the account that I'm picking on, but this is just like unoptimized profile that if you're watching this, your profile probably looks like too. And what we're trying to do is get your profile to look more like Casey's. So cover photo, make sure it says something that gets people to pay attention. If you look at mine, for example, tell people what we do and I tell them like, hey, you need to follow me. So that is your cover photo and profile picture. The next thing we're going to talk about is your about section. So that's over here. A lot of people will drone on about who they are, what they like, some stuff about their professional history. Nobody cares. If you sell to CTOs, nobody cares about you like hitting quota or being in President's Club. Literally do not care. But what they do care about is how you can help them. And so Casey over here, he runs sales over here at ADP for small team. And he says, hey, he tells a story. Outside funding has dropped over 38%. Less than a third of founders actually get their tax credits back. I rescue these funds to throw your runway a lifeline when it matters most. This is so powerful. Short and sweet, tells you exactly what he helps with. Alex tells people how he helps. This stuff is like less relevant. Mark's I love. He essentially just drops in case studies here. Here's all the people I've helped and what we've done for them. I can do that for you. He's essentially adding proof statements. If you look at mine, it just tells people, hey, what is Letter Drop? How do we help people? And gives them my contact information if you really want to talk to me. And so think about your about section as like a very short and pithy way to show like how you're going to add value to their life. Do not boast about yourself. If you want to talk about yourself in a way that lends credibility to you in the context of how your buyers think about it, right? So if there's something that you've done, like a certification you've had, or a previous company with great brand for CTOs and you're selling to CTOs, that stuff you can include. Anything else, cut it out. So that's your about section. Next, we're going to talk about your link. If you're going to be social selling, you're going to essentially get your face out there in DMs and posts, connection requests with your buyers. You want to make sure that people can actually go to your website or booking page very quickly from LinkedIn. And so the way to do that, and you can see mine, is I have this button which says visit my website. And so if you go to any of my posts, you can see it has visit my website on it. When I DM people, it says visit my website on it. And so I'm always directing people back to this so that they can actually go to the LetterDrop website and probably book a demo with me. And so you definitely want to set this up. The way to set this up, make sure you have a paid account. So if you're in sales, you probably have sales now, so you have a paid account. Once you have a paid account, you go to your profile, go click on this button over here to edit settings, scroll all the way to the bottom to custom button, click edit custom button, click on custom button. Then you can make it say any one of these things, book an appointment, visit my website. I like visit my website. Book an appointment's a little too pushy and no one actually wants to do that. And then I just drop in our website over here. And I put in like some UTM parameters to make sure that I can trace this back to my activity on LinkedIn. So I'd say, hey, this is from Parthi's LinkedIn. So I would definitely do that. So you can track the efficacy of all the stuff you're doing. The last bit over here is your featured section. Over here, you want to essentially put in your top performing posts, which convert people. So if I look at Casey's, he has a tax credit education room, so like a deal room, and then he has a survey to help people. So he has useful assets. If we look at Alex, it's some of his best posts. Let's look at Mark over here. He doesn't have one. Laura, she has some of her best posts as well. And so I would really just put in like useful assets. I think Casey has probably like done the best job over here. So as you start posting more, think about the ones which convert people and pin them over here. And that is pretty much it. That's everything you need to know about turning your profile around. If you need a profile review, if you want me to take a look at it, just shoot me an email, parthi@letterdrop.com, or drop us a note in the community. And I'm more than happy to send you a quick 2-minute Loom reviewing your profile so you can make it good and actually start booking meetings.